Cats, cats, cats. I know some people have grown tired of the cats fiasco, this ongoing cat saga. I myself want to make videos on other subjects. I actually planned on making a couple of videos on gays when time permits, but the cats fiasco came up once again. It was resurrected once again yesterday on Berean TV. They played the audio clip of Sister E. A couple of Novembers ago, sharing her, or at least a fraction of her actual thoughts on the cat's fiasco. And then after playing that audio clip, Berean had Sister E herself come on and attempt to, elaborate on what the audience heard. So I'd like to play a bit of that discussion, and then I'd like to juxtapose it with some clips from when Sister E had Benayah Israel on her own channel to this, when he attempted to defend the cat sock puppet. So I guess we'll just jump right in with what transpired on Berean yesterday. So we're going to pick this up about slightly after the 3.5 hour mark of the show, and I'm going to play about 12 minutes. Here we go. Fair use.
He started with the whole cats thing. Everybody know how bad that cats thing happened. The way we need to ensure that we shut it down is when people start throwing that up. My go-to has been, that's not a conversation piece for me to handle. We need to direct that to majors. Let majors handle it. So if cats come up again, that's not our discussion point, I would say, and just send them right to majors.
Agreed. I agree. I don't even touch that. I have my own view on the Pews. I leave it at that. That's for Brown and them to deal with. I don't like how that whole thing went down, so I don't even discuss it.
I don't need that. People don't realize that. And this is just between us. Me and majors have not talked since then. I don't even talk to majors.
None of us talk to majors.
Yeah, none of us do. But because
to be honest with you, I don't even go to his channel no more.
Oh
no,
yes.
I don't even.
Yes. But because
I've totally, because of repentance. If the brother came and spoke to us, he don't have to do it with everybody. You know what I mean? But if y'all had a live, not even a live, but a StreamYard discussion, and he repented for it and made it clear and repented even on a live because it was done live, then we could go back to square one. But until that time, I'm not dealing or touching with that situation.
Yeah, and it's an ugly topic too. And the reason why people are like, well, E, why don't you blast him? Right now, our community is still rebuilding from this incident. Me blasting majors publicly, because again, I'm 95% sure think that majors is live, but I still don't have that 5%. I need that 5%. Yeah.
We don't want to empower Berean, because Berean is nasty.
He said manipulation. When folk don't respect you, don't think you need an explanation. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. I don't think you don't deserve no explanation. You the sheep. I control you. You the sheep. We use y'all. Tell y'all anything. Ain't anybody explain nothing to you. That's our authority. That's the authority. When authority is moving, authority don't have to explain nothing to y'all. You minions. Y'all not on my list. Y'all not worthy of it. And this is how folk been treating y'all, and y'all don't even know it. If these leaders in the moderate movement of the awakening, that's beef. That's beef. But y'all don't say that because y'all don't like white people. Y'all don't see that because y'all searching for ethnicity. So everything has to take, even the truth, everything has to take second place to the awakening, even the truth. You don't think people scared? I'm scared. You don't think people scared? Oh, they don't have a right to be. Because y'all on this black power with the Bible and all this other stuff that you're going to put truth to the side? Come on, Israelite lady, I'm muting myself.
So I'm here to set the record straight. I've kind of taken a break and been focused on my channel. So everybody wants to know, why did Sister E say I was 95%? Is that the question everybody want me to answer?
Type it in there. That's the question among others. Yeah, being that you're here now, good to see you. Go ahead. Keep going. Oh, wait. Dunamis, is that, I'm sorry, the 18 seconds behind us. Is that the question right there? Yes.
Okay. So ultimately, when I brought them on to talk about the whole thing with the internet and the email, that was a conversation everybody wanted to prove, to say, okay, this connection as far as the email does not match. That's fine. And that's what I did. I brought them on. Now,
what
have y'all
email?
ever,
I'm a little bit. What email?
that whole thing with the internet and showing that the IP addresses. So I have a question.
Boo, go ahead.
Anybody ever heard me say that I think that there is a cat? I always said, take that up with Brown. Have I ever said that? I've always said.
Did you always? I can't. Did you said you always said take that up with Brown, or towards the end after it got really blown up?
No, when y'all were blowing shots, I simply said, I don't know if it's 100%, because I had never met Katz. I'm not up here to profess that the whole Katz thing, that I know him and I know this. I've never said that. Have I ever said that I know?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What, you want a medal? No, you didn't.
And then I ultimately said, you know what? Take that up with Brown. Every single time I was on your channel. Yes, they came on my channel to show the IP addresses. That's fine. That ain't an issue. I ain't even upset about that. I really don't care about what folks say about that. But ultimately, every single time people have said, well, what about Katz? Take that up with Brown. What about Katz? Take that up with Brown. You have never heard me say, yes, there's a Katz. Yes, I know there's a Katz. There's a Katz. Has anybody ever heard me say
you didn't. No, you didn't.
So with that being said, with them saying that I said 95%, yes, have you ever seen me and Brown rock together? Other than when he wanted to present Katz.
Not as much as Kelly, no.
I only rock with Dante, Teo, and different people in my community. Kelly, I ain't knocking Brown. That's Brown's thing. But to ultimately say Sister E and Brown are directly connected, come on now. Let's talk about the fact
she listening. No, I can't know that. I can't say. But
I feel ain't nobody saying nothing about Black Tasty going to his church to preach in the next couple of weeks.
And who? Oh, yeah. Well, what that got to do with what that got to do with the price of tea?
That's what I'm saying. Everybody wants me to hold Brown accountable and always fuss about my connection with Brown when people still have connections with Brown. Period. So call the people out to make him accountable. The people that run with him, make them accountable. Don't make me accountable. I don't run with Brown. When have y'all ever, even before the Katz incident, ask yourself this question, other than when I used to be on Berean's channel any other early
you, days. Brown, and Kelly were the first, and Pastor Kelly were the first.
When I first started running with you, I was hanging out with Brown because I was new to the community, right or wrong.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, when I started really interacting with the community, because I didn't start interacting with the community until I walked off of your channel, and I really started connecting with people like, yes, I can't call anybody. My sister is being worsened. I can't call anybody a liar until I fully have the information. Do I trust him? So be it. No, I don't. If I don't trust him, that's me. But I can't say somebody's a liar if I don't fully have the evidence that he's a liar.
Okay, so the 95 wasn't good enough for you, but go ahead. I
mean, even with the 95, that's my assumption.
Why you don't run with him then? You run with all the other Israelites. You run with so many other Israelites. Why you don't run with him? No, that might be.
No. Me and Brown have always, after everything transpired with you, really, me and Brown slowly start pushing away from each other right when everything fell apart. And I'm gonna be honest, I was upset with the fact that Brown was, and I'm finna say this, and I know you're gonna feel some kind of way. I felt like Brown took your side and stepped away from me. That's why I was like, Brown, I'm your sister. I'm a part of the Israelite community. And here it is, you rocking with Berean, and we're supposed to be in the same community. That's why I got pissed off. And I was like, I'm done. Because I was walking alone at that time. By myself.
Pastor Brown, I ain't even got no shout out to Pastor Brown.
And I ain't got no beef with him, but if you look at my track history, and it ain't no double talk. Roger, come up here and say what you got to say. I'm here.
Yeah, it's a time to talk, y'all. It's a time to talk. The link is out there. You see, she jump on.
I've never said, yes, I 100% agree with Brown. Yes, Brown, there is a Katz. Yes, I've always said, I don't know. I've always said,
hold on a minute. Gia, see that this ain't it. Gia, you said she hang out with Dante. That's enough. Dante was the only one that said from the gate. Well, Dante said that from, I ain't gonna lie. Dante was the only one said that from the gate.
With everything,
so you can't even say that.
With everything,
Gia was even around. Go ahead.
Transpiring, I was already like, what the, can I say it? I was like, what the hell is going on? I hadn't
Mhm.
even seen the video yet. People were calling me about the whole, and I think I went like a couple of days without looking at it. Because I just didn't want that. And then when I actually looked at it, I said, what is this? And then they start saying, let's look at this, let's investigate it. So people wanted to, and I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying anything, I'm not mincing my words. I said what I said in the private conversation with YAAAP. Let's call that out. I will never mince my words. I said it. Yes, I said 95%. And I'm going to stand on what I said. I said it in a private conversation with YAAAP. Let me emphasize this. A private conversation because I felt some kind of way. I was pissed off and I was upset. And I said it in a private conversation because I was upset, and I'm still upset about the whole situation. But do I have 100% proof that and do I have 100% proof that there is a Katz? No. Do I have 100% proof that there is no Katz? No. Ultimately, when I was coming on here, people were like, what about Katz? Take that up with Brown. And I'm going to stay right there. What I said in a private conversation with somebody is what I said. And I'm standing on everything that I said, period. Somebody took a private conversation because I was upset and I wanted to tell people how I truly felt about a situation, and they're being snake-ish, took it and put it on a public forum. But I'm the type of person that I'm not even upset about that, because I know people do trifling stuff like that. But if you know me, y'all know ultimately I kept saying, take that up with Brown. Take that up with Brown. Because I ultimately was pissed off.
There's questions coming in. The line's open, y'all. If y'all want to ask a question, you want to well, I know Pastor Jay was already doing this. Would you like to say something on this? How did the convo get leaked? You just can't discuss that, or see here, you
The
saying
convo got leaked because YAAAP, let me tell y'all what happened. When Moor and Teo got into it, I was really trying to be the peacemaker. I thought Moor I thought Moor and Teo doing this on a public forum, arguing and cussing each other. Well, Yacoba went off on them on a public forum. I told them in that conversation when they did it, y'all, we cannot do this in front of people, because people do not need to see us arguing and bickering amongst each other. So when Moor and Yacoba got into it, they ended the live, and I told Yacoba, chill, let's do this in a private environment. Us cussing each other out in front of people is not going to help the situation. So we decided to have a private meeting for Yacoba and Teo and YAAAP to have a truce.
that's a stream yard, or yes, like a private stream yard that wasn't live.
Yes, this was a private conversation in a stream that I set up because I wanted them to talk and bury the hatchet and build a truce, because people are watching us. What they did was record the conversation, and based on the conversation we had, they publicly put it out there for people to hear it. I'm not mincing my words. I said what I said. I'm not upset about it.
Okay, I'll stop that there, and I'll say that, while I appreciate, for example, her stating that she personally doesn't trust Brown on this one, perhaps there's a small bit of indication in that. I nonetheless want to say that before, as I said, a fraction of her actual thoughts were made public, prior to that, her public stance on the Katz fiasco was rather different. It was much more confident on the side of Brown's position. And so with that in mind, I'd like to play some clips from a show that aired on Sista E's channel back in April of 2021, when she had Benayah Israel on frankly, to put it bluntly, he came on and he gaslit her audience regarding the Katz fiasco, basically telling, people that the people who told the truth about Katz had to apologize to the one man who lied about Katz. But I want to play some clips from this because I want you to see the sort of confidence that Sister E exuded back then. You know, admittedly, she lets, Benayah do most of the talking, but it's nonetheless interesting to see the points where she agrees with him, where she seems to clearly co-sign him. So I want to play about 15 minutes from that show, and I'm going to occasionally stop it and maybe do short replays, intersperse it with my own brief comments. And I'll link to both of these videos in the video description for those who want to see the full shows. But jumping right in, fair use.
You know, what I'm starting to see is like there are distractions, that are out there.
Yeah.
And I want our Hebrew community to feel confident in their fellow brothers and sisters that are in this labor, And to that end, I would like for the first time to address this Richard Katz. I don't even know what to call it. I call it foolishness. I mean, this Richard Katz foolishness.
Yeah.
And so if you don't mind, Sister E, I would like to share my screen. And what I'm gonna do is, family, is if you're in front of your computer, I want everybody that's listening to this live. Everybody that's listening to this live, open up your web browser. We are gonna shut this Richard Katz nonsense down right now. And we're gonna stay in bounds because I do want to honor people's privacy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick to what was released publicly by Richard Katz himself. So I'm going to stick to what was released publicly by Richard Katz himself. And we're going to take a look at this, and then we're going to talk on the tail end of this about how you got sucked in, right? Because that's another discussion point, because some of us got sucked in and we started saying some things. And I'm sitting over on the sideline, and I have to admit, I do have a little bit more insight than most folks, but at the same time, I'm looking at them like, this is foolishness. Why are people even listening or even entertaining this? And it's just kind of bubbled up. So movies coming out, we talking about the church. Let's go ahead and nip this thing in the butt. So let me pull up. Hang on a second. Let me pull up my my browser. All right. So everybody go to Google. We're going to do this together. Everybody go to Google. So the question on the table is, Richard Katz a made up guy? Like, did we, come up with some IPs? And I don't even know what that whole story is about, but something weird about IPs and stuff to make up a guy. Like we got time to sit down. That's what's frustrating. We got time to sit down and make somebody up. All this research we're doing, but we got time to sit down and make somebody up. All right. I'm gonna stop commentary.
If I can interrupt here real quick, just for those who aren't familiar with the background to this, what's about to happen. The background to this is that prior to this, they had brought out some emails which they attributed to a Tel Aviv-based professor, a professor in Tel Aviv who was supposed to be a professor of Hebrew linguistics, and these emails were supposed to settle a discussion about Hebrew. And upon closer inspection, most agreed that the best explanation was that this professor, who was named Richard Katz in the emails, was a sock puppet, and that the emails were most likely written by Will Brown. So what Benayah is going to do here is he's going to show that there is a linguist named Richard Katz out there. However, few people fell for this because the person he points to is in the state of Georgia in the United States, so he's in a completely different continent. And aside from that, this man is not a professor of Hebrew. He's a professor of Gothic languages, Germanic languages. And even in the guy's own LinkedIn information, he doesn't list Hebrew among the languages that he has any proficiency in. So, it just didn't fit at all. Nonetheless, this is addressed in other videos, and I'll link to those videos as well, videos that discuss this in more detail in the video description. But just wanted to give you the background to that, and now let's jump into Benayah's case, and let's watch Sister E's reactions.
So everybody go to Google, type in Richard Katz, R-I-C-H-A-R-D, and we're just going to validate that Richard Katz is who he says he is using his own publicly available information. Okay. So type in Richard, R-I-C-H-A-R-D. I'm not typing because as soon as I start typing, you're going to see the search thing. And I'm just trying to hold off on that. And then space Katz, that's K-A-T-Z, space University of Georgia. Richard Katz, University of Georgia. And so your screen should look like my screen. Can you see my screen, Sister E?
I can see your screen.
You see what it says? It says Richard Katz is a trained, what does it say, family?
Linguist.
Linguist. All right. Specializes in language history and how grammatical features comes about. He earned his PhD from the University of Georgia. So for this exercise, we're just going to go one place. Like I said, I'm going to honor his privacy. So I'm going to click on the link that says Linguistics, University of Georgia. This is the University of Georgia's webpage, right? You'll see it, UGA at the top. Department of Linguistics. You see it? Franklin College of Arts and Science, University of Georgia, right? And so on this page, like for those people that have gotten their masters and their doctorates from University of Georgia, like they'll list their names, like, and they'll list it by the year. And so I just want to show you that this information has been out for a minute. Let's see, because I believe he was a 2016. Yep. So there he is, Richard Katz, PhD, 2016, linguistics. And this was his dissertation. So when you're applying for your doctor, you're doing the dissertation. At least that's what the case was in 2016. So I want people to take a moment, look at it, take it all in. You have just seen Richard Katz, and this is based off of the public information that he himself has released. And we're cross-checking that with the University of Georgia. So we're on the University of Georgia's website. So family, at this point, no one should be bringing up Richard Katz as some sort of fake dude. This is utter foolishness.
Did you catch that? Did you notice how right as Benayah is basically saying that the matter is closed, that it's finished, that it's foolishness, Sister E is saying that he's correct. Let's do a quick replay and then continue on.
At this point, no one should be bringing up Richard Katz as some sort of fake dude. This is utter foolishness. And if I could talk to my brothers and sisters just for a moment.
You want me to move the screen or you good?
Yeah, let me actually, I'm going to switch it over to my, let me see if I can switch it over to PowerPoint. I guess I got to stop sharing. Hang on, family. Is it showing up, Sister E?
Yep, this.
Okay. But just to kind of finish up our thoughts on Richard Katz. So everyone in the chat, everyone on this live, if you participated in the exercise, you have just confirmed with your own eyes that Richard Katz is who he says he is. You have just confirmed with your own eyes that my cousin Majors did not make him up.
Once again, did you notice the confident agreement, the confident declaration that Benayah is correct? Let's replay that real quick.
If you participated in the exercise, you have just confirmed with your own eyes that Richard Katz is who he says he is. You have just confirmed with your own eyes that my cousin Majors did not make him up, right? You have just confirmed with your own eyes that anyone that came out and said that this was made up, this was utter, complete foolishness. If you got caught up in this, right, and maybe you started to say some things, maybe you started to get fooled by the people that took you for a ride, because literally that's what they did. They took you for a ride.
Correct.
If you got caught up on that and you said some things, you need to send my cousin an IM, an email or a text and apologize. Straight up. They took you for a ride.
Correct.
If you got caught up on that and you said some things, you need to send my cousin an IM, an email or a text and apologize. Straight up. I mean, if you're man enough, woman enough to say things like, well, he need to do this and he need to do that, right? To condemn the man, when really at the end of the day, he was doing the noble thing, right? So now is the time to put this thing to bed, right, family? So
wow. So what they did was strong arm them. Yeah. To hold back the truth is almost like what the mafia would do. If they want you to shut up, they're gonna shut you up. Yeah. And that's exactly the approach that they took. They literally called the professor, validated that he was who he was.
Exactly.
Validated that he interacted, or possibly validated he interacted with Maury Brown,
right?
and then started bombarding the administrative office to say he is interacting with Black Hebrew Israelites.
Right. The radical Black Hebrew Israelites.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Radical. So you and no one wants to be tied with a radical group. I don't.
Exactly.
No one wants to. So they literally did that. And when they did it, like I said, the game plan was, now we're going to take this to the very platform where all of them are.
Right.
And that goes on Berean. Berean is that one platform that the Israelites, the Kemetic community, and the Christian community are all on one time or another. And we're going to use him as the voice. Wow.
Yep. And you think about it. I just want our listeners to kind of put that into remembrance. Like, think about like all the video lives that they done about it, all the web pages that they had done about it, all knowing all along that he's been out there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like since 2016, he's been out there all this time, just out there. But they've been kind of running with this story because somebody, we couldn't find him. I guess that was the whole thing. Say, you can't find him, even though somebody found him. But I'm gonna leave that one alone. But they couldn't find him, so to speak, and so they kind of ran with this whole narrative, built up this whole deck of cards off of this one lie. And like I said, I just want my family to do a self-evaluation, right, and to see how you got caught up in this, right? How did you get caught up and brought over to the other side? Ask yourself that question, and now that you know that you were dealing with foolishness, the question is, are you going to continue to deal with foolishness?
Correct.
Because now that we've exposed it, now that you've seen it on your own browser, the smart thing would be to leave it alone.
That's so funny. I'm glad it shows that the haters follow me. Thank you, Gomez, for following me. You can give a super chat if you like. He's very angry because they have been exposed. And that's something that a lot of us have been saying. Y'all got to be careful with these folks. They can spin a narrative however they want to spin the narrative. Yeah. We've known that community are a pack of liars. We've called them in numerous lies in numerous situations. And now they're getting mad because the very thing that they built their whole premise on about us is now being torn apart about majors. They meant that they was going to try and come at us because they don't want any truth.
I just wanted to quickly interrupt to say that this next portion is incredible for me personally, as she's about to insinuate that the whole Katz fiasco was cooked up to sort of hide and bury what Boonis said about the Pews, what David Boonis said about the Pews. Here, listen to this.
They don't want any truth because they don't want to go back to the original conversation. What did Boonis say?
Right.
They don't want to. They want to stick to Katz because they want people to be distracted. Even though Katz said the same thing, they want you to be distracted, but they don't ever want to talk about Boonis's original email. I mean, not email, but his original teaching before the email.
Right.
They don't want to do that.
Actually, and honestly, it's the other way around. Will Brown trotted out the Katz emails to get away from and bury the controversy over David Boonis. For those who don't recall, there was a period where Will Brown was claiming that David Boonis confirmed an entire Hebrew sentence in the Solitreo script on the Pews. And, they even gave an English translation of that alleged sentence. Of course, they never showed the sentence itself. They didn't much less show it on a pew. But whatever the case, when other people reached out to Boonis, he made clear that he never confirmed such a sentence that was attributed to him, and he made clear that he was misrepresented by Will Brown. That was apparently embarrassing for them, and so they quickly responded to that by declaring that they had a second scholar who was much more full-throated in his declarations about Hebrew on the Pews. All right, so like I said, it's the other way around. And by the way, you notice Sista E seems pretty confident about that. About what Katz said. Like, in order for Katz to have said the same thing as Boonis, that implies that Katz exists, Katz is real, and the emails go back to him. All right, so there's a little bit of confidence there as well. But whatever the case, if anyone wants to discuss the Boonis thing, I've always been happy to discuss it, and I'll continue to be happy to be willing to do so. But we're going to close this out with one final clip. Here we go.
I mean, my prayer is that, now that you've seen it for yourself, and now you can go to it and check it out again and again as much as you want. Who knows? But my thing is that now that you've seen it for yourself, now you know that you were dealing with foolishness. And the question is, are you going to continue to deal with foolishness? That is the question. And like I said, if you said something some kind of way about my cousin, if you put out some videos or chats or whatever, you need to go and apologize. You need to send him a text or an email or whatever method. You need to go and apologize. All right, family. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone.
And once again, you see a bit more of the confident agreement. For example, as Benayah says that, those who told the truth about Katz have to apologize to Will Brown. Sister E is agreeing with him. That pretty much, sort of conveys confidence about whether or not the cat sock puppet was real. But whatever the case, I hope you found this juxtaposition of differing levels of confidence in April of 2021 and just yesterday in December 30th of this year of 2022. I hope you found this interesting. And as always, I look forward to any comments, questions, or criticisms that anyone may have. And I'll close that here, looking to jump forward to get back into other subjects. And on that note, God bless.